Yeah, I just mapped something that Lisa put up um, that was written in. I guess it looks like it was written in hand, and that's what. It's just it's very powerful stuff, and well, I'll share with you what I experienced directly through my heart, experiencing being one, experiencing the silver and gold mated Uche, because I experienced pure, eternal, absolute love. And so it's much like I described of a letter that I think I mentioned in the past when Misha wanted to heal. And when our eyes locked, in other words, for that moment, at the completion of her circuits and my circuits, she was experiencing what I experienced in my heart and soul are coded encryption code, the Nomi code. She was experiencing what I was experiencing. She was experiencing the love in her heart. I was experiencing in mine, eyes to eyes, soul to soul, spirit to spirit, essence to essence. So it was like being 4 years of age, like being a 4-year-old little boy and a 4-year-old little girl. And her and I were both experiencing pure, internal, eternal, absolute love at the same moment, at the same completion of a circuit. That's cosmic fire. And so when she experienced that, she asked of me to be a guide, a spiritual guide. She was wanting to learn how to experience what I experience at the exact center point of the heart. And if you look at the silver and gold mated Ruche and do the math, you will see the center point. The exact still point is number 13. Right? 12 clans and tribes. So when you do that with negative 13 and positive 13, or negative magnetic polarity, positive magnetic polarity, you experience being one. And when you experience being one, you're at the center. Right? So when you're experiencing yourself being at the center, you're at the center point of an eternal magnet. Golden fire. When I was a child, I called that the gold standard. Okay? Which is a metric, which is a mathematical measurement of experiencing perfect structural, spiritual, engineering integrity. So that our cells are running at high speed. So our cellular state of awareness is the highest state of awareness, with the Eka Veka spin tones of sound and light burn patterns of our consciousness, is experiencing perfect atmospheric integrity. So the integrity is experiencing living in the truth, because you're experiencing what love is. So love has the ability, when you're experiencing yourself as an eternal state of consciousness, at the center point, all hierarchies disappear. So there isn't anybody below us, there isn't anybody below us or on top of us, or to the right or to the left. You're to the exact center point, the still point, to experience no pressure. No pressure waves. So I call that's the one I'm with. That's the one I serve. The silver and gold mated server. A service provider. Yeah, providing service. The eternal source of all electrical power. So when I'm experiencing the eternal power plant, wow, that allows us to perform the job of maintaining perfect atmospheric balance, the balance of our consciousness. And that's equal sharing when you experience being one. So you're joined as one. So we experience being one. So I experience being one because I'm on fire. So I'm naturally on fire to create. And so creation energy is naturally gifting electrons to build capacitors, to build the capacity, which is our sensing capacity, which is sending, transmitting as a transceiver. Hey, what are you experiencing over there? Between one point and another point, as a transaction, like energy exchange. So we're always in love and service to others. So we're maintaining the power and strength of our planetary morphogenetic field structure of experiencing perfect balance. So there's no wobble, right? There's no wobble going off course, right? Which means this is where we're into UN as one, UN, unity. We're experiencing the unity wave, the crystal wave. So that wave is always on duty, gifting electrons at the highest rate of speed. That's why we need a regulator, right? The temperature regulator, right? Between hot and cold pressure, hot and cold water. Yeah, fire and ice. Experiencing being fire and ice, experiencing your consciousness at the center point of that silver and gold made of Riche is perfect balance. So the mind is balanced. So the mind is not experiencing any chaos. Remember, we're out of control. And so we know what that does to the central nervous system. Nerves that breathe, right? Cells that breathe. And when cells are experiencing being one, they're all being loved. Cellular communication, right? The directories, the branch directories, the parent directory. Just like when you go into Microsoft Windows, you'll see a parent directory, the kernel, right? And the differences between a base 10 template, a 10 code, a digital 10 code, and base 12, right? The 13th Mother Ark. That's why this is called the 13th Star Fire Light Cycle. The host vessel, the host Earth vessel for interstellar activation, flame body activation, cosmic fire. We're all on fire to give energy away. That's why it was so beautiful. I'll share this with you. When I got over to the Big Island after December 15th in 2016, I was like a little child running around, kissing plants, hugging trees, kissing flowers. You're on fire to give love away, to wake up all the trees, wake up all the plants, right? And because I'm experiencing being on fire to do that. And then naturally gifting, which is naturally sharing that fire, that light with all life, because all life is sacred. Matter of fact, like what was going on up in Siskiyou County, because I hung out there for off and on, bringing healing energy in there because of, throughout a lot of California, where a lot of fires have gone out of control. It's out of control. Like they have one up there right now near a beautiful place, which is called Etna Summit, on a part of an area that they call the Russian Wilderness and the Pacific Crest Trail. And I've hiked bits and bites of that trail on the Klamath National Forest and including other places. But it's in some pretty rugged terrain. And so what I can say is this, and I don't want to generate another mathematical sounding like burn pattern map of going into fire echo maps and indexing directories, holographic mathematical maps and mapping systems of not only how that fire starts, but what their plan is on how to contain it. Right, otherwise known as a black line policy, right, like a black hole cursor line of flashing light sequences. How they do that, and so I saw one guy on one channel who's big into mapping systems of fire. In fact, apparently he provides mapping services for the U.S. Forest Service and Cal Fire, and had mentioned that they were going to allow drainage is to burn. And he said that they're going to let this thing burn, you know, and for it may be a couple weeks before it's actually contained, right? So I naturally had problems with that because of what we know how to do versus what they know how to do. And so I'm gonna keep this an uplifted spiritual day because I'm happy. I'm in a happy, joyful state because of everything that we're doing to change the echo maps, you know. And I call it calling it all in. Airson 333, number 9. So that's what I have for this morning. Certainly, I've experienced a lot of changes over the last week, but particularly yesterday when I realized what it feels like to experience resistance in others, the resistance that they feel that we feel because we feel everything. And when you're feeling everything because your sensory capacity is full capacity to experience all there is, because we're experiencing all there is, experiencing pure eternal absolute love as an engine, then we're experiencing the eternal engine. So wherever love is, we are. So it's natural to be gifting electrons at the highest rate of speed and giving love to all life as the engine that keeps it running. So we're all experiencing being alive, like a live stream. Right? The streams of consciousness are experiencing perfect balance, and we're free. So the spirits are free. The spirit and the molecule, the elementals are free. So they're no longer being weaponized. Right? Weaponized states of consciousness, running weaponized codes. And then those codes get transferred, right, as parasitic codes. Right? Now we got to burning off those codes because they're not compatible with the silver gold mated Ruche. 13th Mother Ark, the exact center point of an eternal sun, the still point of a true vacuum. And that's what I remember yesterday when Wally talked about what's true, what's not true, between a false light vacuum and the still point of a true vacuum, because we're experiencing the eternal sun, the silver and gold mated one. That's how I knew as a child, but I knew it before I was born. Right? So you see the shadow on the planet, and we know why that's a shadow. Right? Shadow body anatomy. Yesterday when I looked up at the sun, yeah, I can see the hole. Okay? And so I'm just sharing, and so that's why we're here, yeah? Thank you all for being here. We love you all. Muave.